No, I was gonna say. So, Razi, are you saying like if our kids came to us and just had like a legit reason why they don't want to go? Like we as adults, I know I know I take mental health days here and there. So, are you saying like if your child came to you and just said, "Listen, today," and they don't make a habit of it, will we let them? Is that like the
We got progress reports, or not progress reports, but we had our parent teacher conferences last week or whatever, and they did send like a interim progress report for the kids and everything. And I looked at how often Sophie and Ollie had missed school, because I'm not on this whole you got to go to school all the time, yada yada yada. Like if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling up to it, I'll weigh the options or whatever. But I remember growing up and perfect attendance was like the thing. Like you had to have perfect attendance. Like that was a big, big deal. So I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts and how you kind of decide, do you celebrate perfect attendance, and how do you decide when you're going to let the kids stay home or not?
Nah, we don't celebrate. I don't think Jasmine is. I'm not sure she's ever had it anyway. For those that don't know, she's like, especially when she was much younger, she was diagnosed with RSV, which is a respiratory thing, and she later was diagnosed with asthma. So in her early years, she would have to miss days when it became very severe. And now she's gotten better with that, but she missed days at school to go to Miami with me. So and listen, I do take her attendance seriously. Like I hate when she has to miss school. Not so much to get perfect attendance. I just don't want her to miss out on, her learning and things like that in school. So I always want her to be, up to date with the rest of the students, and just giving her the best, I guess, opportunity to succeed. So when she misses school, I think it's a much bigger deal to me than it is Taverna. I'm like, so it has to be a great reason why she misses. I know I just said she missed for going to Miami with me, but I mean, that was like a one-time thing. And plus we was doing virtual schooling back then, so she didn't miss too much. But we don't really celebrate it. Even if she gotten it, I don't know how much we would celebrate it. But on the flip side, I do take her attendance very seriously, and she misses it only when she like really has to, 99% of the time.
Yeah, we don't celebrate perfect attendance. I don't even know if Sky's ever got. Well, she's in first grade, but it's not about perfect attendance for me. It's about she has obligation to go to school, in my opinion, and she's going to uphold that obligation, just like Byron, unless there's a good reason not to go. I don't want to just teach them like, I don't feel like going today, so you're just not going. That's just, in my house, that doesn't fly, because life doesn't work that way. Life, you just can't I don't want to do it. And you can get away with it sometimes. And I want them to understand when it's like, just like working. If there's you work hard, you play hard. If you really earn it, then yeah, you take off those days. You do it. Your job gives you so many days, or whatever the case may be. But just, I'm not going in today. Especially as a kid, I feel like shit. If you had that option, when would you ever want to go in? But I don't know, Byron. I feel like you got a rebuttal.
No, I was gonna say, so Razi, are you saying like if our kids came to us and just had like a legit reason why they don't want to go? Like we as adults, I know I know I take mental health days here and there. So are you saying like if your child came to you and just said, listen, today, and they don't make a habit of it, will we let them? Is that like the
that's kind of the question. Gotcha. Yeah. So because that's what I say. No, Ferg, I agree. It's not going to be, I just don't want to go randomly And okay, cool, you don't have to go. I mean, I fight with Ollie every single morning that he got to go. He says I don't want to go every morning, so it's not like, you know, that's unusual. So, but there have been days where like he's literally like broken down and cried that like he just did not want to go. Like it was like my stomach hurts. Like and you know, for kids who can't explain anxiety and stuff like that, like that's one of the things that presents itself is they'll say my stomach hurts or whatever. And that is a big sign of childhood anxiety. So like those are the days that I'm like, all right, we'll take a day off. Let's figure this out or whatever. So I have, he's done one or two of those over the last 2 years. So not like Bob said, it's not every weekend, every week or whatever, but there has been a couple days that I've given him that mental health break of, all right, let's talk through this. What's going on? Is there something happening at school that's causing you to be so anxious or whatever? As well as, no, if you've got a test or something like that, then because I'm want to teach them to be responsible with it, with that mental health. Like you can't just be like, you can't bail on your friends or whatever. You know, you can't be like, oh, I don't want to go. It's the same thing with sports, right? The kids will be like at a game day and like, oh, I don't want to play today. I'm like, no, you got to play. Your teammates are, you know, dependent on you. You got to show up. You got to play, type thing. So, but I don't celebrate perfect attendance for just what we said. I don't want to teach my kids that if you are sick, if you are beat down, you still grind through and go in. Because too often that's what we do, right? We go in and we'll be sick and we'll power through it. And then, you know, we just get more and more tired, more and more grind. Like it gets to the point where people have nervous breakdowns at work. People, you know, so again, talking through teaching our kids how to be adults. That really is our ultimate goal, right? Is I'm not just trying to raise you and get you through the days. I'm really trying to teach you how to be an adult and wade through the decision points of, do I go in? Do I power through this? Am I sick? Do I just have a cold and I can take some medicine and I can go ahead and go to school? Or is it bad enough that I need to stay out because I don't want to get my friends, coworkers sick? I don't want to, you know, go through that. So for me, no, I don't celebrate perfect attendance at all. I don't even care. We don't talk about it. And, you know, if there are certain days where we have to take it and you don't have to be deathly ill to take a day, I'm cool with that.
Okay, that's better explained, because when you opened up, you were saying like you were looking at how many days the kids missed. Like they were like missing 7, 8, 9 days in the last.
No, they missed like 3 days, and like 2 of them were COVID scares. Like where so, I had to keep them home. So
when you said it, it's kind of thing like, well, they didn't want to go to school, so I just let them take off Thursday and Friday. I'm like, okay, you know, because I'm like you know, being an ex-athlete and just being in the military, and even a lot of things I've done in my life where other people depend on you, or you're supposed to be, you have not an obligation, but a duty to do certain things. I want them to be able to know what's, you know, just not a good day, or this is my day and I just need to, I'm done. Because just like in sports, you hear people say, are you hurt or are you injured? You know, like if you're playing sports, you're going to be hurt. If you're playing a contact sport or you're running, there's going to be days where you just, like most of the time, you're going to be hurt. It's, can you play through, or are you injured? Do you really need to take a step back? Because like you were saying with the cold, hey, you're going to have a cold. My son's 2. He lives in a cold. Like that's just where he's at. His nose is always running. He's always sneezing. He's always coughing. That's just going to be, he's 2, you know? But there's days when he's super lethargic and we're like, okay, what's going on with TJ? Let's call the doctor. Let's do this, because he's outside of his norm. And I want them to understand that, because as adults, you need to to me, you have to understand how to fight through certain things without breaking yourself. You know, just because I'm tired and I don't want to go to work today is not the day that I'm tired and don't want to go to work any day, really, you know? So it's, you know, I need this mental health day. I know a lot of schools are looking at mental health days for kids. I think they're starting looking at high schoolers, really, because they kind of have a more understanding of their mental status, rather than just a 5, 6, 7-year-old who just like you said, Ollie doesn't want to go to school every day. But maybe they need to start there too. So that's a very interesting question.
Has Ali pointed out a reason or two why he just doesn't want to go?
No, his whole thing is it's boring, and so those are the days that I make him go. When he's just like, it's boring. I only like PE or whatever. But I usually gauge when they come home after school. I'm asking, how was today or whatever, and he usually says, yeah, I liked it or whatever. If he comes home and it's like wasn't a good day at school, that's when I really get into the okay, why? Tell me about it or whatever. And a lot of times, even with that, it's something that was harder for him. And he was like, this thing was super hard. And so it's kind of bothering him that he doesn't know it or he's not picking it up or whatever. And so that's when, we sit down and we talk through whatever it was and we go over it and we review his work from school that day and that type of thing to really make him feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So I think it's him just being harder on himself than he needs to be. And trying to take personal accountability, but at the same time being 6 years old and not knowing how to do that. So nothing in particular, like it's, a certain thing, no bullies or anything like that, or feeling alone, because that, for bullying, it doesn't necessarily have to be active bullying. Sometimes it could be just not playing with kids and alienating them. And so I make sure that, and I've talked to the teachers and they're like, no, all he's social. He has friends and everything. So I always ask him about his friends and, who he played with that day, that type of thing as well. So just kind of thinking through each day, taking it one day at a time, but no, nothing in particular that he's kind of brought up.
Cool.
Good.